Get my truck painted, how much sealer would I need to get? 01 Suburban, I would say you would be good with a gallon kit, because when you're laying on sealer, you're not laying it on really wet and thick. And most times you're just doing one coat. One good coat of sealer should be it. So I would say a 1 gallon kit, depending on your mixture, with your reducers and all that. If you're using a 1K sealer, then it's just spraying as is. But there's different types of sealer that you can use. I'm not sure what brand you got, what type of mixtures they got, but yeah, I would say a 1 gallon kit should do it. If you want to be on the safe side and get a little extra, get a gallon and a quart, okay, of unmixed sealer. This way, when you mix it, you'll probably end up with like a gallon and a half or a gallon and 3/4, 3 quarts. What's your best recommendation for paint for truck and trailer single stage? Look into AIC single stage. Very good, inexpensive. It comes in 1 gallon packs. Black and white are the cheapest colors. I think it was like, how much did I pay for that? It was like less than $100 for a 1 gallon kit. And I literally painted the Good Van project, which is in VIP, which is actually on our YouTube videos as well. I used the finish line clear for the whole car. After 2 years, started to peel. Why is that? I'm not sure. Maybe you didn't wait a proper flash time. Maybe you sprayed your base coat and sprayed the clear coat a few days later. I don't know what your setup was. I don't know how your prep work was, but that's kind of odd. Shouldn't do that. Maybe you got a bad batch of clear coat. Maybe you're just in an area where the sun is beating on it 24/7. Well, the sun can't beat on it 24/7, but I don't know. Maybe you're in an extremely hot Texas area where you got some crazy sun that beat it and peeled it. That's kind of odd to me for a 2-year paint job to start peeling like that. So I'm not sure what you did wrong or if it was a problem with the materials. I'm not sure. Very hard for me to answer your question just stating that little sentence there and then, not knowing what happened, what transpired before you painted. You know what I mean? Very hard. Let's see. Okay, we got a question here. When paint shops put color on top of a can, is it normal for base coat to be different shade from single stage? Both have same color code. Yeah. Of course, absolutely, because there's no clear on the base coat, so it's going to be a different shade. What I normally do, if you want to see a base coat with clear on it, put some spit on your finger, put it on that little thing, and you can kind of see what it's going to look like with clear coat on it. What are your thoughts on Bulldog adhesion promoter, and have you ever added it to base or clear? I have not added any of that into my paints, but what I normally do if I'm using it, I like the product. Actually, I use it whenever necessary on raw plastic or some metal sometimes if I want to cheat and just hit some on metal and prime right on top of it. Where is it? I don't know where it is. I had a can of it around here somewhere. Here it is. I like it. I use this stuff over raw plastic a lot. Okay, and you could even put it on like paint. You could put it on whatever. It's kind of like a cheat way, but it's good. It's good over. It's mainly over for plastics. If you want to paint plastic, so I usually just sand plastic with 400 grit, like automotive trim, plastic trim. I'll sand it with 400 wet, kind of just get it scuffed. I'll spray some adhesion promoter on it. And then you could spray base coat, clear coat right on top of that. You can spray single stage right on top of that. Or if you want to get rid of the paint, the plastic texture on trim, a lot of it has that little grainy texture. You spray 2K filler primer on top of it after the adhesion promoter. and then you sand that flat. You water sand it. You could dry sand it, however you want to do it. I like to water sand it flat till it's smooth, till you literally sand out the texture. And then you could apply your base coat, clear coat, or single stage on top of it. It'll look like glass. It'll look like the rest of your car. And we're going to be doing, I don't know if I'm going to be painting my trim on the Tesla. Maybe I'll do some of it. But yeah, I'm actually deciding on the colors of the Tesla right now. It's a nice high-end car, and I just don't want to screw up on the color. So now I'm thinking like a teal. I was thinking like a cobalt blue to magenta purple fade toward the back, but now I'm thinking maybe like a teal. You know, the Jeep Wranglers, the Jeeps have really nice colors. I like the pink, the Jeep pink, and the Jeep blue, and the Jeep teal. All the new Jeeps, beautiful colors. So I'm actually thinking of using one of those. Good reviews. So try it. If you're getting, if you're seeing reviews of a clear coat that's getting pretty good reviews, try it. What do you have to lose? You're going to be probably painting a lot of things over your, paint lifespan, so just try it. Just like spray guns. I think clear coats, paints, and spray guns, sometimes you just don't know until you start spraying with that spray gun. Sometimes you'll like the handling and the feel of it better than another brand. Like for me with the Velbis, I just don't like the way they feel in my hand. I don't like the angle and the pitch of the nozzle to the handle. So a lot of their guns, their nozzle is a little pointed upward. It's a weird angle for me. And like when painting over hoods and all that, you're supposed to put your hand on the side of the gun like that. When you're doing a roof or a hood, you're not supposed to stay like this, right? You're supposed to kind of go on the side and then lay it on. So it depends. For me, I just love the way the atoms feel in my hand, and they work well for me. Same thing with clear coats and different paints and materials. You try it. Some clear coats are crap. Some of them are pretty good. And it also depends on your budget. Do you recommend 4-to-1 clear or high solid? It all depends. I mean, I like high solids a lot better. The 4-to-1s are normally a little cheaper. So it depends on your budget as well, bro. I have a question. Do you really put extra reducer when you're mixing 2-to-1 ratio using Dexon? It's kind of thick and there's too much orange peel. So thin it out. I'm telling you, you need to sign up to my Rads Paint formula. In that series, we cover basically mixing paints, and I'm on camera showing you mixing candy. I'm showing you mixing a base coat. Letting you hear the sound of unmixed paint. I'm letting you hear the sound of mixed paint. I teach you how to mix paint without literally measuring, just by observing the paint viscosity and consistency. All that is in the Rads Paint formula. So what is the best tip? What tip is best for the paint recommended? So generally, you want to use a 1.3 or 1.4 tip. This is a 1.3. It doesn't say it on my needle because on my nozzle, because the X88 comes with a 2-tip combination. If you buy it, comes with a 1.3 and a 1.4. So you could literally change out your needle and nozzle, and you could switch from a 1.3 to a 1.4. And that's where you want to be at when spraying any kind of single stage or base coat, clear coat. So if we look, you probably can't see it, but this is a 1.3 right now on the gun. It's 1.3 tip there. Okay. Let me put this back on. And then if you're shooting any type of primers, you could spray out of a 1.3 and 1.4. Okay. You just have to reduce your primers a little bit. And we cover all of that in VIP as well. So there's a ton of content that we have. We've been helping people for over 10 years learn this stuff, put it into action, build out their own rides, open up their own body shops. through Learn Auto Body VIP. I mean, our courses are used in high schools in the US, some high schools in New York and Texas, and also state penitentiaries in New York and New Mexico are using our VIP Auto Body course to teach their inmates a skill set. It's pretty amazing. I'm very humbled about that. Let's go ahead. So, Paint by Kevin says, how did you start opening your own body shop at home, finding success? So, I had clientele. So I grew up in the automotive industry. When I was 13, I painted my first. And guys, I'm going to give you a page here. You should check this out. So I'm going to give you this page here and check out this page and read. There's a my story part of this page down below. And this is actually the sales presentation / what you get when you join VIP page. But down below in that page is my story and how I started. I show you the actual bike that I painted, one of my first mopeds and bikes. Actually, it was a 1989 Honda Elite. This is a 1999 Honda Elite. But I have all my sentimental builds that I actually ended up buying over the years. And then the 89 YSR 50 project that I painted when I was 13 years old. So I grew up doing auto body. My dad had a shop, and by the time I was 10, 11, I was hanging around the shop and kind of like watching him do things and learning just by watching, not really picking up tools yet. But by the time I was 13, I started sanding, I started prepping, and I painted my first bike in the booth when I was 13 years old. And so, growing up doing that, actually dropping out of high school, then actually paying my own way through a community college, getting my automotive associate's degree in automotive mechanics. I made a lot of friends, and I was actually painting a lot of my friends' cars in college, hooking them up, like $2,000 paint jobs, $1,500 paint jobs, $2,500 paint jobs. I think some of the paint jobs I did were like $5,000. And then that's how I built up a lot of my word of mouth clientele, was just through school. And then I got to the point where I was like 20. How old was I? I was like 23. And my dad was ready to sell the body shop business or give it to me. And, by the time I was 23, I was already doing body work full time, painting, flipping cars, going to auctions, buying multiple cars, fixing them, painting them, reselling them, doing customer jobs, restoring classics, just nonstop. So by the time I was like 23, I was already like pro body guy, painter, never had runs. Body shops used to hire me just to go and paint their car. Like I would literally, 17 years old, 18 years old, I would literally go to body shops, put on my suit. The car would be in the booth waiting for me. And I would just go there, spend an hour if it was a single stage, sometimes 2 hours if it was base coat, clear coat. They'd pay me $100, $150, in and out, shoot it, done. And that's what I was doing at 17, 18 years old, and I don't know. One thing that I always had a knack for was really hardly painting and hardly having any runs. I would never have runs maybe in the beginning when I first started painting, but I really mastered spray gun technique, distance to panel, speed and flow, pressure settings, setting up your fan, and all of this is discussed in the RADS paint formula. So that's something that you definitely want to sign up for, RADS paint formula. Check the link out. I cover all of those things. So, by the time, like I said, my father wanted to give me the body shop, and I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to do it. I could have probably ran it and hired a painter and just went that way, but I wasn't really into it. I wanted to do something completely different. I wanted to create an online business. I wanted to basically get into a different industry, which I ended up doing. So my dad sold the body shop, but I did some paint jobs every now and then for friends and family, out of my home garage. So as far as opening up your own body shop and finding success, basically it's a lot of it is word of mouth. So you might have to do jobs a little bit cheaper in the beginning, get some friends and family, do some jobs, get the jobs in a little bit cheaper. And in my estimator's guide in Learn Auto Body, I actually show you how to estimate how much paint you need for a project, how much to charge to do a fender, how much to charge to do a front clip, how much to charge to do a complete paint job, whether it's single stage or base coat, clear coat, or if you're going to do a custom job. I give you a bunch of ideas. and like price ranges that you can use and potentially charge customers to make money, right? So all of this is covered in VIP as well. So I would say give good deals in the beginning, do good work. If you screw up, eat it, eat the cost, eat the labor, redo the paint if you have to, buff it out, just do as best as you can. And then the word will start spreading. You know, that's basically how you do it. You can advertise on IG if you want locally. You could do, you know, take some photo, do Facebook Marketplace. You can talk about your business, you know, and it's pretty much it. Because once one guy, you know, you get one happy customer and he's happy, you tell him, look, if you refer anybody to me, I'll give you $50 or I'll give you $100, depending on the size of the job. You know, they call that bird dogging. So you could do that as well. You know, say, hey, you get me a complete paint jobs. You know, if you know anybody, you know, you got to be cool, friendly, make friends. You know, all your customers end up becoming people that, you know, that can give you more business. So tell them, you know, make them happy, do a good job. Tell them, hey, if you know anybody, let me know. If I get a complete paint job, I'll give you $100, PayPal you or whatever. It's so easy now to send people money. You know, you could do it that way. So hopefully this helps, guys. Carbon fiber panels to the rest of the car, a pearl yellow. Was thinking of wet sanding the carbon fiber panels and using adhesion promoter. Oh, okay. So you want to basically paint the carbon fiber. Yeah. So sand it down. Okay. Just give it a nice coat of 2K filler primer on top of it. You don't even have to use adhesion promoter. Sand it down, and put 2K filler primer on it. Sand it down flat, 400 grit, wet or dry, and then paint it. If you want to put adhesion promoter, you can. It's not going to hurt it. It's not going to hurt it. All right, guys. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good week and the rest of your weekend. I'll see you next week, same time. Peace.